Hey everyone, welcome back to the HerbRally podcast. This is Mason, and we did it. That is 28 episodes in 28 days in the month of February. Today's episode is just a snippet from Jiling Lin's class in our new member area called the HerbRally Schoolhouse. So this one is Chinese medicine in your kitchen, and this is a 96-minute class. And here's the class description. Explore the 5 phases of Chinese medicine and their correlating 5 seasons. Learn traditional Chinese food energetics, including the 5 flavors, nature, temperature, and meridians. Understand Chinese dietary principles for eating and living through the 5 seasons with optimal foods, herbs, and cooking practices. So the HerbRally Schoolhouse is $10 a month. And I'd say this class alone is worth that $10. It's 96 minutes. It comes with a PDF. You could do the downloadable audio, and then there's also a video. So learn more about the HerbRally Schoolhouse at herbrally.com/schoolhouse. For more about Jiling, you could go to jilinglin.com. Find her on Instagram at linjiling, and I'll include links to those in the show notes, of course. Thanks everybody for listening. I'm sure you probably didn't have a chance to listen to every single episode this month. In fact, we just got a podcast review on iTunes, and I remember it saying something like, the only downside about this podcast is there's so many episodes in the back catalog. So, and then they said that's not really a downside, but I get it. There's a lot of content. I think we're up to today's the 353rd episode of the HerbRally podcast. So if you've been listening for a long time, thank you so much. If you're a new listener, welcome, and enjoy today's snippet episode with Jiling Lin. Talk to you later.
Hello, everyone. This is Jiling. I'm an acupuncturist, herbalist, and yoga teacher here in Ventura, California, right by the Pacific Ocean. In today's class, we will discuss Chinese medicine in your kitchen, accessible ways to bring the gifts of ancient Chinese medicine into your life in an easy way by accessing what is already within your life and in your kitchen. Let's begin with some quotes from the Tao Te Ching. Laozi Tao Te Ching is one of the old classics in our Chinese culture as well as the Chinese medicine tradition. In chapter 42, we begin with Dao Shen Yi, or the Dao gives birth to one. Yi Shen Er, or the one gives birth to two. Er Shen San, two gives birth to three. And San Shen Wan Wu, 3 gives birth to all things. What does that mean? Dao signifies everything. If you can imagine the great primordial soup of everything within all the multiverses of possibility before Big Bang, before our human material selves became existence. And now, even as we are existent, this grand one, going from the formless of Tao into something which is physical and manifest. One giving birth to 2, we separate into these realms of duality with yin and yang, which is pictured here. Traditionally, yang is that white part which moves into yin, which is that dark part of the circle, and is oftentimes traditionally signified by the shadowy side of the mountain, or the yin aspect, and the sunny side of the mountain, or the yang aspect. Two gives birth to 3. That's manifest in 天地人, or sky, heaven, 天地, the earth, and 人, humans who hold the sacred place in the middle. 三生万物, 3 gives birth to all things, meaning that from this 3, which before that was the 1 and the 2 leading up to the 3, this gives birth to all things, which brings us to the 5 elements. The 5 elements are archetypes of everything within our world and within our bodies. Water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. The relationship between these 5 elements are twofold. There's the xiangshen, or mutually generating cycle, going around the edge of the circle, and mutually controlling, or the xiangke cycle, which creates that star in the center. How it works with the xiangshen mutually generating cycle is water gives birth to wood, which burns up into fire, which descends back down into earth, from which we extract metal, which brings us to water and continues the cycle. With the mutually controlling 相克 cycle, water puts out the fire, fire melts metal, metal cuts down the wood, wood takes over or controls the earth, and earth helps to keep water in check, continuing around and around the circle. For each of the 5 elements, there's various traditional associations, which is found in another classic of Chinese medicine and Chinese culture called the Huangdi Neijing. The seasons that are associated with each of the 5 elements are water is winter, wood is spring, fire is summer, earth is long summer, and also the transition between the seasons, 长夏, and transitions. Metal is that of autumn. Another important association, well, first for the seasons, we nourish the yang in the spring and summer. Spring and summer are times of activity. So within these more active times of the season in the external world, we also nourish this yang or activity within ourselves. And we nourish yin in autumn and winter. As the land rests and finds quiet, we also reflect that within our bodies and find restfulness and quiet, nourishing yin. Another traditional association is that of the 五味 or 5 flavors. Water is associated with salty flavor, wood is sour, fire bitter, earth sweet, and metal pungent. A quote from the Huangdi Neijing Su Wen, the Yellow Emperor's Classic of Medicine, chapter 22, is about seasonal organ pathology. Pungent scatters, sour gathers, sweet harmonizes, bitter consolidates, and salty softens. We'll talk more about this as we continue through each of the seasons, which will guide our talk for today. The 5 flavors, sour is astringent, contracting, descending, and cooling. Some examples of sour foods include citrus, ferments, vinegar, tomato, cheeses, yogurts, many fruits, pineapple, hawthorn fruits, mango, plums, and grapes. Bitter helps to clear heat, dry damp, stimulate appetite, and is cooling and descending, having diuretic functions that may stimulate bowel movements. It's clearing and purging and helps to consolidate the yin and calm the spirit. Some examples include dark leafy greens, coffee, chocolate, tea, plants in the mustard family or the Brassicaceae like kale, collards, and lettuce, and our classic bitters like dandelion and burdock. Sweet helps to tonify and nourish, neutralizing potential side effects. It's moistening and a little bit uplifting or ascending in nature. Examples include most grains are sweet, many fruits, most dairy, many root veggies, squashes, yams, rice, and corn. The pungent flavor helps to increase circulation, promote appetite, and is ascending and dispersing. Examples include ginger, many of our spices like peppers and cinnamon, also plants in the Brassicaceae or mustard family like cabbage and broccoli, plants in the mint family, the Lamiaceae, and plants in the Apiaceae or the carrot family and Amaryllidaceae or allium family. We have a lot of bitter plants and we tend to have a lot of pungent plants as well. And last but certainly not least, salty flavor helps to disperse stagnation, promote stool or urine excretion, and is cooling and draining, more yin. Examples include salt, tamari, miso, sea vegetables, pickles, and meat. Climactic factors associated with the 5 elements. Water is cold, wood relates to wind. In Chinese medicine, wind is something which brings a lot of change through our world as well as into our bodies. Fire associated with heat, earth with dampness, and metal with dryness. So a little review of what we've gone through so far. Water is associated with winter, salty and cold. Wood, spring, sour and wind. Fire with summer, bitter and heat. Earth with 长夏 or the long summer and transitions between seasons. Sweetness and dampness. Metal with autumn, pungent and dry.
And that's going to do it for today's episode. Thanks so much for listening to the HerbRally podcast. If you'd like to hear more from us here at HerbRally, we now have a text message community, believe it or not. Basically, it's just updates from us. We send about 1 to 7 texts per week, notifying you about new events, videos, courses, podcasts. You get the idea. It's pretty much like our email newsletter, just in text form. So if you'd like to receive text messages from HerbRally, just text JOIN, that's JOIN, to the number 541-256-2895. Again, that's JOIN to number 541-256-2895. And to stop receiving texts, that's easy too. Just text STOP to the same number. It'll opt you out immediately. Okay, thanks again for listening. Have a great rest of your day.